Welcome back, my friends, to Marvel Snap. Now, being able to jump the energy curve here in the game is so powerful. Is it powerful enough to even make a Leech playable? Well, we'll find out with this list. This is my take on a ramp list. So we have the Psylocke and we have the Electro, both able to increase our energy. Electro giving us +1 max energy for the rest of the game, which is an on-reveal ability, and then ongoing, you can only play one card a turn. So we round out the list with a number of more expensive cards to be able to play on curve and try and get multiple of our huge boys down onto the board. The Psylocke giving us just +1 energy for the next turn can still fill a similar role of being able to cheat out. What we're looking for is the 5 drops on this list on turn 4. The Professor X catching an opponent off guard, locking down a lane before they're able to prepare across all of the lanes can be a game-winning situation in and of himself. And then the Leech, normally, I don't like playing the Leech. On reveal, remove all the abilities from all cards in your opponent's hand. You do have to remember that this can be beneficial to them if they're playing something like the Infinaut, if they're playing something like Giganto. In most cases, it really bricks their hand. He's supposed to only come out on turn 5 and then put the control on the opponent, but in this case, if he can come out on turn 4, that makes him much more powerful. A more reliable card to play in Leech's spot is going to be Spider-Man, but I actually do like the Leech in this situation as a bit more of a high roll, leveraging insane control up against the opponent if he does come out on turn 4. Everything else here is slotting into a hybrid deck around the Destroyer, getting to show off our beautiful variant here. On reveal, destroy your other cards. Incredibly detrimental in himself, but we have the Professor X to be able to lock down a location, Cosmo to potentially prevent the Destroyer from being able to trigger, and the Armor to protect one of our lanes of cards as well. We have the Daredevil to give us a little bit of scouting information. He even has a little sonar rays that is an exact mirror to the Professor X, telling you that these cards play together. And we have the Sunspot. We're anticipating passing several turns, or passing at least with leftover energy, especially when we are playing Electro. So that's all going to get funneled onto the Sunspot so it's not completely wasted. And then the Hood is here because he's my favorite card overall, and it gives us something to do at a low price point to be able to combo in with other cards. It really is a flex slot in the deck. You can run whatever you like there. We also have the Shang-Chi because I think he is so powerful as a control piece right now. You could also run the Enchantress if you feel like that gives you a little bit of more of an edge in the meta, which right now the meta is entirely ongoing Destroyer, so there is a good case to be made that you run Enchantress here instead of Shang-Chi. Jumping in here to be able to showcase the deck, we have the list up above. If you want to talk any card substitutions, deck optimization, leave me a comment down below. Read all the comments and love chatting Snap down there. Danger Room and Mirror Dimension. We could play the Armor to be able to get the protection. I think I will. And we'll wait on the Daredevil, be able to play around that. Leader, one of the cards that I didn't actually touch on in terms of our deck tech. Leader is a brilliant card to be able to play here to mirror what the opponent has, stay on tempo with them as we are ramping up, and with Destroyer likely keeping portions of our deck, or portions of our board, empty, then the Leader is a beautiful piece to have. We'll go Sunspot alongside the Armor, and then we will play the Daredevil. Do I want to play the Psylocke? Sure. I'll play the Psylocke right now. I don't care. If she perishes, she perishes. Do something like this. I don't necessarily want to play the Leader early because the Leader's just going to copy what the opponent has. Playing Leader before they're going to drop. You want to play Leader to take their really pivotal finisher cards. And so... oh my gosh. Let's go Professor X. Yeah. Shang-Chi as well. It's so cheap. I'll hang on to the Shang-Chi and just put more energy onto the Sunspot. I think we've won already. This is exactly, the whole point of the deck is to cheat out Professor X into a winning situation. We've done so here. Unless, of course, the opponent decides randomly to put a lot of pressure on this Elysium. They did not. They played the Storm as a bait, and now they're going Wong. Mystique copies the Wong. Yes. And what's the final piece? Ironheart. We're going to see a lot of triggers of Ironheart. Is it going to trigger on Storm enough, though? Storm is going to get pretty big. 10-point Storm. Now we do have our Destroyer here. The opponent is passing. I will play my destroyer. He's not going to be able to destroy anything on our board. We're protected by Professor X and the armor. Put more power on the sunspot. This is the final turn. Shang-Chi kills the Wong, who's going to be very large. They flip first, so they're going to be able to play Odin here, right? Odin probably buffing the storm beyond what the sunspot would be able to scale up to. Our Shang-Chi will kill the Mystique and the Wong. Should be able to win. Do I want the leader? The problem with the leader is that bringing in the Odin means that we re-trigger Destroyer and then kill all of our own cards. So I don't want that. I guess I play Leech just for the points. I mean, 3-3. Do I care about putting power here, or do I want power on flooded? I put power over here. I know that he's coming in to be able to buff this side. Unless it is Panther? Are you playing Panther instead of Odin? And does that change anything? If they play Panther instead, it still dies because of the Shang-Chi and we win the lane. And then we're also winning the mid. Yeah, we got it locked in. Okay. We bandied around the bush. Here comes the Odin. So we'll sit here for a little while and just watch the beautiful animation of Ironheart trigger repeatedly until I kill everything at Elysium except for the Ironheart and then win 16, well, more than 16-0. And I do mean it that we are going to be here quite a while. If you guys want to help support the channel, I can help you guys win the game of Snap. You guys can help me win the game of YouTube. Liking the video, subscribing to the channel to be able to follow our future projects will help me out a ton. I want to be able to promote the game, give it the attention that I think that it really deserves, because Marvel Snap is an absolute gem. Because you can build incredible combos like this. The card catalog is very small right now. 100 points? They had 100 points exactly. It's the most anticlimactic finish to the opponent's tremendous combo, and we take them for 8 cubes. Well, that Ironheart re-triggering over and over in series might be one of the longest Marvel Snap games I've ever played. In the comments, let me know, what is the actual longest in terms of time match that you guys have ever played? The longest match that I ever played for real it wasn't that Ironheart one. I've seen one where there was, I don't know if it's still there, it could still be there, a bug with Omega Red, where if Omega Red is receiving buffs from an adjacent lane, then he reprocesses his tentacle slap the number of times that he is being buffed. And I had a list that was buffing him tremendously through other sources, and it was a true nightmare to be able to play through, because every time I did a move with a new card, it would then recalculate the power at the location, and then it would recalculate all the buffs that he was receiving, and every time that he was plus 10, he slapped and... Anyway, my explanation has been almost as long as the game itself. It took me forever to be able to process that game. Let's see. Professor X to Los Diablos. The sneaky one could be Professor X right here to Ruins. We're still ahead, even though the hood is there. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous, one way or the other. What do we like? I'm gonna go for it on left. Yeah. They play the Iceman, sure. He doesn't trigger because of nowhere. And then they play Ant-Man. So they have their stack set up. 18 points, not bad at all. We snap. Now, what do we like? We kind of want to be able to play... I think I want to play leader on turn 6, because then we'll be able to steal their destroyer, which they've telegraphed that's what they're setting up. The problem is if the opponent thinks that they can just play Professor X themselves for the win, in which case I would want to play leader now. It's a sticky one, but I think that is what I want to play. Ah, yuck. They full pass. Sure, they are playing into the leader here, but unfortunate, or the destroyer then. Unfortunate for them, they flip first. meaning my Shang-Chi wins. I've already snapped because of the lockdown with the Professor X. We sit back. Infinaut. I thought for sure it was Destroyer. Either way, the opponent had actually gained the initiative there. So we take the win. Atalan reveals Sunspot Armor, Psylocke, Destroyer. Pretty great lineup for us. We can play the Sunspot, play the Armor, potentially use the Psylocke then to be able to cheat out a pivotal card. Maybe we just set up the Cosmo. Depends on what we drop. If we can find the Professor X, they're going Psylocke. If you go Psylocke on 2, you're really looking at them either trying to play Wong or they are trying to play Mr. Negative. I'm going to go ahead and play the Psylocke. And hope that we top deck into either Professor X or Leech. Jubilee. Okay, Jubilee is good as well. Normally you run Jubilee in the Mr. Negative. You don't run Magneto in the Mr. Negative. Can we get a White Tiger? Alright. Atalan shuffles around. We get effectively the same cards. Fantastic. We get to play... if I play Electro now, I'll get to play Destroyer next turn. He copies. Well, hang on. I can play the Okay, this is getting interesting. I play the Electro twice. The Hood is dangerous because, oh, I have to play to Avengers Compound? That's okay, this is okay. Do I want to play the double Electro? The double Electro will trigger twice and give us up to 7 energy. It just means that Sunspot will be getting more. The kicker is that I don't want to get trapped into having Atalan locked off. I want to play Destroyer to Avengers Compound. He'll actually be able to destroy the Electro and then free us from the chain of only 1 card a turn on that final turn.
Clear for takeoff.
So here he comes. Is the opponent's list a Mr. Negative list? But why would you play Magneto in the Mr. Negatives? Ironheart, Jubilee, Panther, White Tiger, Psylocke all tell me that it is Mr. Negative. But I suppose it could be Wong as well. Just a Wong Odin style. Yeah, I'm not sure. The leader? Leader's pretty spicy. The problem is if they play an Odin, then my Odin would re-trigger Destroyer and just kill all the everything that I have set to build up. And the Demon, unfortunately, doesn't actually give me the win. What else would they be playing? The Zola? Zola copying Destroyer is similarly humorous. You know what? Let's roll... Hang on. Is this just foolishness when I could play Shang-Chi to be able to kill the Magneto and then the Demon to win Sinister London? Yeah, I think it is. And then I can play Daredevil just for better point spread. That helps my margin of victory. The Odin. Retriggers the Ironheart. Ho ho! Oh, Shang-Chi is so good. As long as he bounces mid as well. Come on, go mid! Yes! Oh. What a win. Shang-Chi... I guess Shang-Chi is actually just the carry of the list. Destroyer, who's that? Leader? No. Shang-Chi is the reason we're winning all of these. Seems like right now, it's the kind of, if you can't beat them, join them mentality of playing with ongoing Destroyer. The Destroyer, the Cosmo are incredibly prevalent right now. Professor X as well. These are cards that just absolutely everyone is playing. We get Minilab again. I didn't realize the Minilab was actually the hot location. Sunspot Demon. Nice opening play for us. I like it, I guess, a little better than the Daredevil. The Daredevil is great, but we don't see the Professor X in hand, and that's really the card that he's meshing up with. Xandar buffs the Hood at least a little bit. We do have the Electro. We could play the Electro here, and then just hope that we top deck into the Leech or the Professor X. I mean, it's a 1 in 3 chance that we draw the card that we want. I'll take it. If it means that we just have a lot of extra energy to be able to put onto the Sunspot, so be it. We'll be able to play leader early to keep tempo with the opponent anyway. Shouldn't be too bad. Alright, we get the armor. So, we will play Cosmo, get some control on them, keep on powering up the Sunspot. If the opponent has... Ooh, if they have a Killmonger, I'll be very sad. Of course, the armor can protect, but not in this situation. Ooh, blanking out their Jubilee with the Cosmo. That's fantastic for us. Actually fantastic for us. Then I can play leader to be able to maintain tempo. Let's snap. We were able to catch him. Oh, there it is. Cosmo is so good. Psylocke, Sunspot, leader. Here's the Leech. Alright, beautiful. We'll be able to ramp into Leech early, and hopefully we'll see some blank cards played out by the opponent. I always like being able to see the blank cards come to the board because then you realize how much of an impact they really... Alright, we can play the Psylocke to Camartage. Psylocke isn't on reveal. That means she gives us +2 energy on our next turn being turn 3, allowing us to play Leech on turn 3. On turn 3. Oh, man. What do you have? Angela. 4 cards in hand. Weird World. So I'm going to play from their deck. They're going to draw from the deck. I get their Vibranium. Ooh, it's nice to see. We'll take care of any of the lingering cards that had synergies in their hand. They're playing Hood Angela. This doesn't really tell us anything about their deck. Hood is just very popular right now as well. Angela, of course, Queen of Efficiency. Still wearing the crown until the balance changes come in. I'm assuming that she's getting nerfed. I suppose it's not confirmed. She's remained across all of the beta in her current state, unchanged. Maybe the devs have set a precedent that she's just going to remain. You got the Bucky. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have any cards that wanted to destroy that Bucky? Ah, you did. You had the Carnage. You're actually about to draw it as well. Tragic. Truly tragic. Do I want to play... I want to play the Vibranium, and then I just probably leave... No. Yes? I don't want to play the Vibranium Mines. Playing the Vibranium Mines actually gives them a better chance of getting the Vibranium now. But I would kind of like the armor. Because they could still receive my Destroyer. I'll just wait. It's an odd puzzle because they could receive my Destroyer, but then again, playing... There we go, they lost the Nova. Playing the armor to be able to protect this stack from my Destroyer could give them opportunities to lay down other cards that they do want to be able to just hang out there. They've got my Daredevil. The Demon got bricked. That one didn't matter too much. A deal is a deal. I've actually never seen that text before. And then they lost the Nova. So do I just play the Vibranium? I could play just the Vibranium. The Carnage, if I play here, he gains power per, each destroyed. And because the Vibranium cannot be destroyed, it'll only be a 2/4. It would still keep this open for us. Then we can play the armor over here. Or am I still holding off on the... I guess we're still holding off on the armor, anticipating the opponent receiving our own Destroyer. But then I want to play leader on the final turn, so wouldn't I have wanted to set up the armor? Twisted path to try and predict based on knowing what they're drawing from and then anticipating what we will be receiving as well. The opponent with the self-destruction list. They got the Electro. Okay. Now you can only play one card. What are you going to make it be? He's going to try and eat those Vibraniums, but he doesn't manage it. I'm going to leader on the Camartage for funsies. The leader will be able now to copy the effects the opponent plays twice, and they retreat. Here is the deck in all of its glory. I have to say, Leech is the king of making opponents just want to retreat. So dirty, especially when he can come out a couple turns early, as we have seen in the gameplay. I'm really loving this list as a twist on the ongoing Destroyer. If you want to really be able to counter that ongoing destroyer, the Leech is doing so, and the Shang-Chi, if you sub that out for the Enchantress, you should be able to win that matchup fairly reliably. Also being able to jump the energy curve and then get your Professor X out on turn 4, whereas the opponent is still waiting for turn 5. There's some fun interplay there, and I think that this deck actually does have the edge when they come up head to head. You guys will have to let me know how the deck serves you if you guys give it a try. Till next time, thank you guys for watching. Keep on snapping.